In today's episode, Zain asks, how is a small business supposed to post 5 or more times a day? I read an article on Inc.com that the optimal amount of times to post on Facebook is 5 times a day. How does a small business or a solopreneur even come up with that much content? Well, okay, so this is a really good question because it's a couple of different questions packed into one. First, the idea that there is an optimal number of things to do on social media, whether it's posts, whether it's times of day and things, is something of an illusion. The reality is your business and your audience are different from every other business there is. How you collect your audience and who your audience is going to be different. So should you immediately just start with whatever numbers in today's news? Maybe. If you're just getting started out, there's no harm in testing out the best practices, because best practices really are bottled minimum competence is kind of the idea. It'll get you started. And then from there you customize. It gives you a place to start. It's like a recipe. You start with a recipe, and then once you've mastered the basics of the recipe, then you go on to adapt it, improve it, and make it your own. So, I would suggest if you're going to go this route, you will want to start testing out frequency and measure things like engagement and traffic on the posts that are yours to see, is there actually an optimal time or an optimal number of posts for your audience. Now, to the question about where do you get that much content, generally speaking, you should be following the 80-20 rule, which is for every one post that you post that's your own content, like my blog or the Brain Trust Insights blog, the other 4 posts should be third-party content that's non-competitive, that you give out to other articles and things like that. Where do you get that much content? Well, it comes over time. So initially, when you're just starting out on your own content, you should be doing stuff like video. Video that you put into YouTube that you can then put onto a blog, have it transcribed, and now you've got frequent blog content. That's what I do every single day, because I don't have time to make all these different pieces of content. But if I record one video, I can then go and turn it into a bunch of different pieces of content. And that's kind of a separate question. Second, in order to get lots of other content, you need to be pulling from the existing reading and research you're already doing. So I use a combination of apps. One's called Feedly, the other's called Pocket. I subscribe to a gajillion and a half different blogs in Feedly. I go through and I tag the ones that I want to read. And then I use a service called If This Then That to pass them to Pocket, the app. And then Pocket does a nice job of collecting them, rendering them, things like that. And then I can mark certain ones like, yep, that was a really good one, or okay, that was okay. And then from there you can actually export all of the, the links. If you go into Pocket settings, you can export an HTML file with all your links, and that will let you be able then to take those URLs and write social media posts about them. You could just use the article title if you don't have a lot of time. That's typically what I do. You can also, if you want to, customize the messaging around it. My friend and colleague Scott Monty does that, where he writes a very elaborate summary of each link. So it depends on how much time you have and how much you're willing to do customization. But that's how you do it. You read, you research, and then you take that information from all these different publications and you share their stuff. Remember, you're not copying and pasting their actual content. You're just sharing links to it. And so you can do that as much as you want. Where people get stuck is that they typically don't read enough and they don't subscribe to enough to have a large body of content. You're probably going to want to start off with 100, 150 blogs. In Feedly and even in Pocket, there will be recommendation engines, things that you can use that will allow you to say, like, I want blogs about marketing, and of course it'll bring up a couple of dozen marketing blogs, and then you would type in, I want blogs with social media marketing, email marketing, business strategy. Start picking out topics in Feedly, and you'll be able to subscribe to them, and then give it a little while. It'll typically, when you subscribe to a blog, it'll pull the first 10 posts, the 10 most recent posts for that blog. Now you've got your starting point for content, and you can go through and again, my workflow is Feedly to if this then that to Pocket, and that's mostly automated so that I can then do that HTML export and get going. That's how you do this. That's how you create that much content to share on social media. And then the last piece is you need a scheduler. You need a scheduling tool that allows you to take I'm currently using and evaluating AgriPulse. I've been using it for a while now, and I like that you can just upload a spreadsheet to it. So say you get that list of links from Pocket. You put that into a spreadsheet, and then you can upload that into a service like AgriPulse. Buffer does this too. Hootsuite does this too. You upload a CSV file, which is a type of spreadsheet. You can export from Excel to CSV, and then you upload it in. You decide what your posting schedule or times are going to be. You define them, and then it will autofill all your social content for as long as that file is. That way, you can write and build an entire week's worth of social media content all at once. The process for me, because some of these pieces I've written my own custom code to automate, so the process for me to build my own social media content for a week, the framework content, not engagement, not replies, not conversations, but just the posting of stuff, now takes about 2 to 3 minutes a week to fill out 180, 190 posts across these networks, and then just dump it into AgriPulse and have it go out. That's how long. That's where you want to get to. You want to get to your framework content as quickly as possible. Get it done, and then that way you have more time for engagement and conversation. So, great question. It's a very common question, and there are ways to do it that don't require custom code. Like I said, you just use Pocket, if this then that, and Feedly as your glue, and then as you grow, as your business grows, you can level that up to make it more automated, more customized, things like that. Give it a shot. See how it works for you. As always, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and to the newsletter, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.
If you want help with your company's data and analytics, visit braintrustinsights.com today and let us know how we can help you.